Are you there, William? Will?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yes,
beautiful. Hello.
Hi, it's good
Will,
to be here.
you're an author and you've just written a new book called Camouflage Kids.
Yes, that's right. I'm an author of children's books, and my first book is called Camouflage Kids. It's a junior fiction book aimed at children aged 7+.
And what made you want to write a book? Have you always wanted to write books and things?
Well, I've always had an interest in creative writing, and I've also got a strong interest in Veterans Affairs and defence issues, which sort of dates back to my time as a volunteer with the charity Sydney Legacy. I've been a volunteer with them since 2007, and they're a leading charity that supports the families of veterans. So the book actually focuses on issues impacting the children of veterans. So I decided to try and merge both interests, both my interest in Veterans Affairs and creative writing. So in about 2019, I started on a draft and published it a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. And what's different about veterans' children that you wanted to talk about it? You know,
I saw a bit of a gap in the market there. So I figured through my volunteer work with Legacy, I've been exposed and I've got to experience some of those challenges that young people do face. So it's whether their parents are deployed on overseas operations, it could be dealing with mental health issues, even things like parents that might have a service dog to cope with distress. There's a lot of issues that uniquely impact the children of veterans. And I thought it might be a creative way to sort of disseminate that and share those stories in a creative format, and that's where the idea came from.
Yeah, because, being a mother of, not in that sense at all, not having anybody in the army or anything, we don't understand what the children go through. Like we all know what it's like for them to leave, and the wives are left behind, or the husbands or their partners or whatever are left behind, but you forget about the younger ones, the kids. So,
yeah, you're exactly right. And
yeah.
I think behind every veteran there is a family, and we often see soldiers, servicemen and women proudly wearing their medals and their uniforms, but a lot of us don't understand the story behind that, the meaning. And this book seeks to raise awareness of a lot of those issues. It's set on Anzac Day, and it raises awareness about the meaning and the story behind Anzac Day, and the meaning and significance about military medals, service dogs, and the journey a lot of military families and their children go through.
Sounds really good, doesn't it? And what about? Don't you hate that with me, my brain, that I've forgotten my question that I was going to say? And have you written any other books, or is it just this is your first book?
No, that was my first book. Since I published my second book late last year called Soul Captains. So Soul Captains is a young adult book aimed at teenagers, and it's a completely separate story, but similar to Camouflage Kids. It engages with and looks at issues affecting military families.
Very interesting.
And this is Julie here. What was it that got you interested in writing for children? Because it's quite different compared to writing for adults.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think you can have a bit more fun and be more creative when you're writing for children. I like the fact that with Camouflage Kids I got to include illustrations. I also thought, there's a bit of a gap in the market for the sort of themes that I'm exploring. And I thought, and it was a challenge for me, I think, to strike a balance between engaging with some quite serious issues, but trying to put them into a child-friendly manner, but also creating humour adventure along the way as well, so that children are motivated and inspired to turn the page. So, yeah, I thought it'd be quite enjoyable writing for our future generations.
And how's it been received? How are the young ones saying that they're enjoying it? Is it something that they can understand and go through with it, that they're saying to you?
Yeah, I've had some good feedback from readers and parents. So I've managed to speak out at school. I've had feedback from kids saying they've enjoyed it. I've had feedback from actually a parent who served in the Australian Defence Force who read the book to her child and wrote to me actually explaining that they thought it was a nice way for them to sort of share their journey, their military story in a child-friendly way. So it has been well received, and in addition to traditional sales points, it also is available at war memorials across the country. So it's been well received in that regard. So it's available at the Australian War Memorial in Canberra, the Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne, and the National Anzac Centre in WA.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And what would you say to people who kind of secretly have an ambition to write? How do you get started?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be the best writer. All you need is an idea, and you can pursue it. The greatest thing about writing is you can be creative about it. It doesn't have to be truth. It can be completely fiction. You can plan out a plot line, plan out your story, but you can have fun along the way. I found with Camouflage Kids that where the initial sort of storyline and plot line I had wasn't what the end product was. So I got to have a bit of fun and play around with it at the end and make changes. But my message to children is just put pen on paper, have a go. You never know where it could take you, and you'll enjoy it.
And have you got any other books that you're thinking about writing or doing?
Not at this stage. So I've just done two over the past couple of years, but I find writing is a bit like travel. It's a bug that you get. So who knows? I might embark on a new project in the future, but I'm happy with two for now.
It's a good start.
Yeah, that's right. Because most people I don't get that bug.
It's been a really enjoyable journey, writing and the publishing of it. And if anyone has, an inkling towards it, just have a go. You never know. You never know how a publisher might react, and you learn more about yourself along the way.
And what did your family think of the book? Have your family all read it and things?
Yeah, they certainly have. And no, they enjoyed it. And my niece and nephew, who are younger, they enjoyed it as well, because they're sort of the target market. So, it's been well received. So I've had some good feedback from family as well.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks very much. It was lovely chatting to you. And you can just look online and buy it from... I was having a look. It's in most places at the moment, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, the easiest way is either online via Dimmicks or Booktopia, or if you're at one of the war memorials across the country, you can purchase it in the bookshop there.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for chatting. We'd love to hear when you do your next book as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the opportunity, and thanks for taking the time.
All right. No worries. Lovely chatting to you. And if anybody's interested, it's called Camouflage Kids. Thanks very much, Will. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
All right.
You too.
All right. Bye. It's interesting there's so much out there, but, I suppose it's not something that I've ever thought about before, because I don't have anybody in the army, but there's so many kids out there that dads and mums and whoever it is that aren't available, and at least they've got something that there's other people that understand it and what the medals are about. I know that's what the book's about as well, as why the little kid was wearing a medal. So very interesting. Well, that was a great chat. So now I'm going to get some music going. We